So here in this recon stage, what they do is that they gather information about the target. Okay, and how they can do that? They can do that in a lot of ways. Let's say the hacker research a company website, social media profile, or employee LinkedIn page to find out useful information. So let's say most of the time what happens is that company actually posts job description where they say that, okay, let's say for example, let's say if they're hiring a SOC professional, they will like write it down that, okay, we want a SOC expert who is like expert in, let's say, Splunk tool, or let's say they can understand, they can handle the Cisco devices, Cisco firewall devices. So this actually gives a lot of ideas to the attacker also, like what all devices or what all portals or what all tools does that company actually uses. Okay, so that is something kind of like, so these are the kind of things that which attacker actually does before kind of attacking any kind of organization. They do a lot of research about that. Let's say they might search for the email addresses of the employees to whom they will kind of, let's say, target them via phishing email, or let's say they would kind of search in the dark web for any uh, email and password pair that might have been leaked earlier for that organization. Okay, so if you remember the Uber hack that happened recently, thing is that over there was a guy who actually got one of a credential of one of the hosts of the Uber uh, on dark web, a valid email and password, and that's when that person was able to log in. And once that person was able to log in to that host, they were actually laterally traversing towards the whole organization complete sections. Okay, so this is like the recon stage where the attacker actually gather information about the target. Okay, now let's see what's the next stage. The next stage is called weaponization. Okay, and what is this weaponization? So in this phase, actually attackers creates a weapon, often in the form of, let's say, malware, to that can exploit the target vulnerability. So let's say one of the example is that hacker create phishing email with malicious attachment. Okay, so what will happen is that, let's say, at the recon stage, the attacker has got the email addresses of the employees, and in the weaponization stage, what they did is that they actually write an email. Okay, let's say for example, let's say if I am an attacker, if I am trying to attack, let's say, your company, for example, what I would do is that one of the phishing email I would do is that I would drop an email uh, around the time of, let's say, March, the month of March. And my theme of the email would be like, okay, you have, um, please fill up the tax returns as soon as possible because hey, you have a return of almost like, let's say, 50,000. Or let's say there has been some issues found out with your tax department. Please open this attachment and kind of address this out, something like that. Something near to that when that event happens. So most of the thing is that most of the employees actually fell to this kind of traps. Okay, and they open those kind of phishing email because at that moment of time they are actually kind of let's say they are filing their tax returns, yearly tax returns, for example. Okay, so thing is that this is what the weaponization would mean out at that stage, that we drop, the attacker drops a phishing email with a malicious attachment, let's say PDF file. If like if the person clicks the PDF file, the malware actually executes, and that is hidden inside a PDF file, and it takes full control of the computer. Okay, so that's what a weaponization actually means. Okay, now the third part is the delivery. Here what happens is that attackers delivers the weaponized target, weaponized the weapon, let's say for SOC. Okay, so here the thing is that in this state, let's say if I'm an attacker, I will send out that phishing email. Okay, so here I got the email addresses of the employees. Here I wrote a phishing email, and here I dropped that email, just to be kind of easy to understand, right? Now the next part is the exploitation. What this exploitation means is that, let's say uh, one of the employee, let's say 30 out of 100 employees actually opened that email containing malicious PDF file, right? So what will happen is that that malware will execute on the system, and thing is that it will start working towards its objective. Okay, maybe it will exploit. Let's say an example is like employee opens a malicious attachment, and then the malware, when it got executed, it exploits a vulnerability in the company software, giving hacker an access to the internet network. So let's say here the malware actually, let's say, uh, for an example, what I did was that, let's say the PDF file has a malicious downloader. Downloader, for an example. So downloader is actually not a malicious file, but it got executed in the system, and this will help me go to the next stage, the fifth part, the installation. So over here in the installation part, what as an attacker I would do is that my downloader script will actually download additional malwares on the system. Okay, download additional malware and install the same on the system. Okay, so this is where the installation part will be, right? Now I will share you one thing, guys, where understanding this kind of Lockheed Martin kill chain is very, very important. So I will share you one real incident where thing was that sorry. So thing was that I was actually dealing with one incident. Okay, and thing is that what I found out that there was a downloader script that was present inside the system. Okay, so what I understood that at least that so when I got the alert at the fourth stage, right? When I saw that, okay, there was a downloader in the system, right? Now, thing is that uh, by seeing this downloader script, I was knowing that, okay, the attacker has actually reached out to this fourth stage till now, and then there are only 3 stages left for the attacker to achieve their objective. So when I went to this, I found that attacker is at this stage, and the thing was that when I saw the logs, I didn't saw that downloader script to be executed. That downloader script was not executed on the system. The reason was that it was actually a Linux system, and that downloader script to execute that, it actually needs to be set up as with the executable permission. Okay, it needs to have the executable permission set. Okay, the thing was that this executable permission, the attacker was not able to set that executable permission. So if I go to this Remnex, and thing is that if I just do quit, and let's say I do clear, let's say I create a file a.txt, and if I just do ls-al a.txt, if you see the permissions, it says read and write, read. Okay, now to understand if a file can be executed, what you need to do is you need to add a permission like this, chmod +x a.txt. Okay, and now if you do the thing, you see that you have another flag over here now which says x. So it means that this file can be executed. Okay, so executed, I means like it can be treated as a binary and it will execute on the system. It might, like, if there is any kind of code that is inside the system, it will get executed on the system. Okay, so the thing is that when I actually found out, when I actually went to the system, I found out, okay, that executable is a downloader, and that downloader it's a downloader script. So the attacker is in the fourth stage right now, and I saw that attacker was not able to actually execute that downloader. The reason was that even though the attacker was able to kind of create this file in the system, the attacker was not able to add the executive permission that I showcased just now to you guys. Okay, and that's where I was knowing that the attacker was able to reach from